Right friends, welcome back to the fourth live session. This is the latest banking events for IBPS clerks, and last week because of some problem with internet connectivity, there was some disruption, some important panels or you can say committees could not be discussed, and those things I would like to add now. And in addition to those, some banking events we will discuss, subsequently some current affairs, important events of current affairs also we are going to deliberate in this live session. Total you will have 10 live sessions before 30th December. They include various latest banking events, committees and panels, as well as some current affairs events which occurred during the past 2 to 3 months. And before reviewing this, make sure that all of you please view the capsules or modules available in YouTube channel, especially with regard to banking awareness 30 lectures as well as Q&A, true false, they are very important. And at the same time there are 32 capsules available in Learning Space Digital exclusively for this mains examination. Please view those capsules and please follow these 10 live sessions. And if you have any query or if you want any discussion with regard to any banking related topic, please mail us suggestions@learningspace.in. Please mail us at suggestions@learningspace.in if you have any queries, if you have any doubts with regard to banking awareness, or if you want some discussion with regard to IBPS PO mains interview, if you want anything to be discussed as far as banking is concerned, which I have not deliberated in 30 lectures, please send us a mail to suggestions@learningspace.in. Right. So, having learned this, let us look at the committees which we could not discuss last week. The committee is the Lilly Vadera committee. This is with regard to bank authorization policy. That means 25% of the branches are to be opened in rural areas, and what exactly the name or the designation of a bank is. Previously, a bank was considered as a branch when ATM is available or when a physical branch is available, and now because of the advent of digital banking, now there is a need for modifying the nomenclature of a specification as branch. With that in mind, this Lilly Vadera committee, or you can say this is internal working group on rationalization of branch authorization policy, was constituted. Looking to the next one, this is with regard to GM mustard. Here I included this slide only to tell you 3-4 points. This GM mustard means genetically modified mustard. In our country, genetically modified cotton is exclusively cultivated. That means no food crop was given approval till date, and genetically modified mustard, this is under trial. That means this genetic engineering appraisal committee is monitoring the developments, and government is about to give approval for GM mustard, but there are several groups which are opposing to it. So, here 2-3 things I would like to tell you. If someone talks about genetically modified mustard, it is into the news because of genetic modification. Second one is this was developed by Delhi University. These things are very important, and this is very important committee. Bank Boards Bureau, this is headed by Vinod Rai, and this Bank Boards Bureau was established based on PJ Nayak committee recommendations, and this Bank Boards Bureau is the autonomous body and which looks at bad loan problems, then board level appointments, and it advises on strategies for raising of funds, at the same time mergers and acquisitions also. Right. So, if someone talks about a BBB, this was established based on PJ Nayak committee recommendations. And when you look at defense, recently government unveiled this defense procurement procedure 2016, and here 2 things I would like to tell you. This is based on Dhirendra Singh committee recommendations, that is the one part, and a new category was introduced from this year, that is IDDM platform. So, if someone talks about IDDM in defense procurements, that is indigenously designed, developed and manufactured platform, and Dhirendra Singh committee, please do not forget. Then Supreme Court gave certain guidelines on government advertisements. These guidelines are with regard to content regulation, and this committee is headed by B.B. Tondon. B.B. Tondon is a former Chief Election Commissioner. So, if someone talks about B.B. Tondon committee, this is with regard to Supreme Court guidelines on government advertisements. Please do not forget, government wants to double the farmers' income by 2022, housing for all by 2022, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan by 2019, certain flagship programs of government, do not forget, and a committee was constituted to double the farmers' income by 2022, and this committee is headed by Ashok Dalwai, do not forget. Look into the next one, Shyam Benegal committee. Shyam Benegal committee is with regard to look into the functions of censor board and basically to revamp the film certification by Central Board of Film Certification. So, to look into the censor board activities, this Shyam Benegal committee was established. Then, if you look at former captain of Indian cricket team Anil Kumble was appointed as ICC Cricket Committee chairman for a second term of 3 years. He will be in that post till 2018. And another important aspect is Rahul Dravid was also appointed as member of ICC Cricket Committee. Then financial sector regulators. Please do not confuse if somebody talks about financial sector regulators. Reserve Bank of India, which regulates the banking system, is important financial sector regulator. Then capital market regulator, which looks at various instruments of debt as well as shares, that is the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Then Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority, which regulates various pension funds. Various insurance funds are regulated by IRDAI. So, these are all known as financial sector regulators. Please do not forget and do not confuse. So, financial sector regulators are these four. And at the same time, do not forget, if any appointment is to be made to the financial sector regulators, then it is headed by Cabinet Secretary, which is known as Financial Sector Regulatory Appointments Search Committee. Then National Committee on Trade Facilitation. Recently, India signed trade facilitation agreement with the World Trade Organization. Trade facilitation agreement on goods was signed by India with the World Trade Organization. Here National Committee on Trade Facilitation is to be appointed, and this is headed by Cabinet Secretary. Then Supreme Court appointed Oversight Committee to monitor the working of Medical Council of India. This is very important. So, Justice R.M. Lotha, former Chief Justice of India, the committee headed by Justice R.M. Lotha is acting as overseeing committee of Medical Council of India, and at the same time do not forget R.M. Lotha committee is associated with the functioning of BCCI also. So, if you are hearing the name of Justice R.M. Lotha, former Chief Justice of India, do not forget overseeing committee for Medical Council of India, that is one part, and it is looking at reforming BCCI or the functioning of BCCI, right. Please look into this. These are the members of Lotha committee, and important recommendations are here. Please go through them if you have time. Maximum age limit is 70 years for any post, that is one important recommendation. Then Tarun Ramadurai committee, this is very important. Why Indians are allocating more financial resources to gold? Why Indians have got a fascination to invest in gold? So, keeping this in mind, Tarun Ramadurai committee was established. He is professor of financial economics, basically to look at the financial sector, household finance. Household finance, to look into this aspect, this Tarun Ramadurai committee was constituted. Basic aim is why Indians has got a fascination for allocation to gold. N.R. Narayana Murthy committee. this gave recommendations. Based on the recommendations, recently Securities and Exchange Board of India gave certain guidelines with regard to angel investments. And do not forget, what are alternative investment funds? Alternative investment funds are angel investments as well as venture capital funds. And you may ask, what is the exact meaning of these two funds? The exact meaning is they invest in startup companies, budding companies, the companies which are about to take roots. In those companies, these funds are invested, angel investment as well as venture capital. And for angel investment funds, recently SEBI gave the guidelines, and these alternative investment funds are regulated by SEBI. That is one aspect, and N.R. Narayana Murthy panel is associated with this alternative investment funds, right. And a panel headed by former Cabinet Secretary Prabhat Kumar is going to submit its report on comprehensive policy on MSMEs, right. So, these are the events which we missed last week. So, I thought it fit to discuss here, and let us move on to the next banking aspect, important aspect, non-performing asset. In recent times, it is into the news. Non-performing asset or NPA is into the news, and several loans are becoming NPAs. And what is meant by NPA? The loan becomes NPA. NPA means non-performing asset. If the loan is repaid regularly, when the bank is giving loan, it is to be paid back regularly. What is the name to it? The name to paying back of loan regularly is servicing of loan. Every month the loan is to be serviced. The specific name for it is servicing of loan. And if the loan is not serviced for more than 90 days, it becomes non-performing asset. If the loan is serviced regularly, the name given to it is standard asset. When the loan is serviced regularly, the name given to it is a standard asset. If the loan is not serviced regularly, that means if it is not serviced for more than 90 days, that is non-performing asset. Asset means loan in the banking system. So, when the loan becomes non-performing, then banks' burden will increase. Banks have to keep more and more money aside from their profits. Banks have to keep more and more money aside from their pockets. That means from their profits. From their profits, they have to keep more and more money aside, which is known as provisioning. When the loan becomes non-performing, the provisioning will increase from the bank's perspective, right. If the loan is declared as loss asset, then provisioning will increase. So, provisioning is the money to be kept aside in the banking system for the loans, and this provisioning will keep on increasing when the status of the loan changes from standard asset to non-performing asset, right. So, this is all about non-performing assets. So, non-performing assets are totally a burden for the banking system, right. Here I have given what is non-performing asset. If the loan is not paid for more than 90 days, then it will become non-performing asset. Then first 12 months, it is substandard asset. Once the loan becomes NPA, first 12 months is substandard asset. Beyond it is doubtful asset. So, these terms do not forget: non-performing asset, substandard asset, doubtful asset. And when the loss has been identified by the bank or internal or external auditors or during RBI inspection, but the amount has not been written off, that is known as loss asset, right. So, this is all about non-performing assets. And here, what can the banks do? When the customer or the company is servicing the loan regularly, there is no problem for the banks. It will continue to be standard asset. If the loan is not paid back, then what the banks are required to do? I have given here, there may be genuine reason, there may not be genuine reason, there may be some genuine reason, some earthquake occurred, some floods occurred. Under those circumstances, there is genuine reason. Some environmental clearances were not given, forest clearances were not given. That is the case for genuine reason, and in some cases there is no genuine reason. So, when there is a genuine reason is there, then the mechanism is restructuring of loans. We have deliberated in banking awareness lecture, please view that. I am not going in detail here, I am explaining you the basics, so that you should not forget about basic terminology in banking. This is restructuring of loans. When there is genuine reason, banks can restructure the loan on easiest terms. Interest can be reduced, further loan can be given, and some period they need not pay, and like that they can give several concessions to the borrower. But let us look at if there is no genuine reason. First one is debt recovery tribunals are there. Debt recovery tribunals are as per 1993 Act, and as per this Act, banks can approach debt recovery tribunals for recovering the loan amount from the borrower. But it is a time drawn procedure and it has not given satisfactory result. Second one is asset reconstruction companies. Sell this bad loan to some asset reconstruction company. This is as per SARFAESI Act. All of you are familiar with SARFAESI Act. Please remember the full form of SARFAESI Act. It is quite often asked in the examinations. So, as per SARFAESI Act, this bad loan can be sold to asset reconstruction companies. Then it is the headache of the asset reconstruction company to solve that. Right. So, this is second mechanism. Third one is, if there is a case that willfully that man is not paying back. If the company is not paying willfully, what is meant by willfully? They have got resources, but deliberately they are not paying back. Under those circumstances, criminal cases can be filed against the borrower. Then fourth one is winding up petitions. These winding up petitions can be filed in a court of law, and it is long drawn procedure, right. Then the fifth mechanism is strategic debt restructuring. This Reserve Bank of India unveiled in the year 2016. This is a strategic debt restructuring. This is applicable for consortium lending or multiple banking arrangements. When banks came together and gave the loans, then there are two words, consortium lending as well as multiple banking arrangement. There is a slight difference in meaning. I am not going into those details, and for consortium lending as well as for multiple banking arrangements, the mechanism is strategic debt restructuring. When the borrower is not paying back, obtain the management control of that company, take over the company, obtain the management control of the company. That is strategic debt restructuring. In the examination, somebody may ask you, what is meant by SDR? Strategic debt restructuring. This is nothing but taking over the management control, right. And the next mechanism is S4A. This came somewhere around June 2016, and this is a scheme for sustainable structuring of stressed assets. Somebody may ask you the full form of S4A. S4A is scheme for sustainable structuring of stressed assets, and here the debt is converted into sustainable debt and unsustainable debt, or equity or quasi-equity. You may have a doubt what is meant by quasi-equity. Quasi-equity is some type of debt and it has got some qualities or softer terms. So, here the debt can be converted into sustainable debt and equity. That means, part of the ownership can be taken by the banks and part of the debt will remain as debt. And here the minimum debt or minimum sustainable debt should be 50% of total debt. So, S4A is the mechanism which was brought in the month of June 2016. Right. So, these are the mechanisms available to the banks when the loan becomes bad, right. And let us look at the next one, people are nowadays talking about real estate investment trusts, then infrastructure investment trusts. What is meant by real estate investment trust? They collect money from small stakeholders, they collect money from people like you and me, and then they will invest in real estate property. They will invest in a real estate property like buildings, and when the building value increases, your unit value will increase. When buildings are giving some rent, then you will get some dividend. That is real estate investment trust. Just similar to mutual funds. What mutual funds will do? Mutual funds will collect money from persons like you and me, and ultimately they will invest in shares or debentures by applying their brain, and if there is some profit, they will give you. So, similarly in real estate investment trusts, they collect money from you and me and they invest in buildings. If the building value increases, your unit value will increase, and if they are getting rent from the buildings, then they will pass on to the stakeholders. Similarly, infrastructure investment trusts or InvITs, here what they will do? They will invest in infrastructure projects like airports, like national highways, like expressways, like bullet train projects, like that they will invest. If there is a profit, they will distribute. So, that is infrastructure investment trusts. So, real estate investment trusts, infrastructure investment trusts, these are in the news during the year 2016, and the regulator is Securities and Exchange Board of India, and we have already deliberated about alternative investment funds or AIFs like angel investment venture capital funds. These things do not forget, and at the same time do not forget what is meant by Sharia banking. Sharia banking, basically interest is prohibited. Money cannot multiply money, that is the feature of this Islamic banking or Sharia banking. Profit and loss is to be shared in Islamic or Sharia banking, and recently Reserve Bank of India released a paper with regard to the Sharia banking or Islamic banking, and government is yet to take the decision. So, these are important events if you look in 2016, and credit rating agencies are also regulated by Securities and Exchange Board of India. In the last lectures we deliberated on it. So, by leaving discussion with regard to various banking aspects here, we will switch over to some current affairs. Managing Committee of the Indian Banks Association elected Rajiv Rishi as the chairman of Indian Banks Association for the year 16-17. What is Indian Banks Association? It represents management of the banks, and CMD of Central Bank of India is Rajiv Rishi. He is chairman of IBA for the year 16-17. And here Reliance Jio claimed that it created world record with 16 million subscribers in the first month of its operations. Right, this is as claimed by the company. So, Reliance Jio is the new entrant promoted by Mukesh Ambani. Look into the next one. Government notified fixed term employment in apparel sector. Apparel and textile sector, for the first time government allowed this fixed term employment. What is meant by fixed term employment? As and when they feel they can hire, as and when they feel they can fire. No labor laws to be followed, that is fixed term employment. And violating the labor laws, or what I mean to convey is, by sidestepping the labor laws in textile sector to promote textiles, this fixed term employment was brought by Government of India in textile sector. First International Arbitration Center was inaugurated in Mumbai. This is India's first International Arbitration Center, please do not forget. Country's first Medipark or medical park is expected to come up near Chennai at Chengalpat, right. Look into the next one. This is very important. Rani Ki Vav was awarded the cleanest iconic place. All of us are talking about Swachh Bharat, and this Rani Ki Vav was awarded the cleanest iconic place, and the Ministry of Culture issued an advisory to all the state governments or UTs to support Archaeological Survey of India in keeping monuments polythene free up to 300 meters. So, cleanest iconic place is Rani Ki Vav. This is in Gujarat, which was built in 11th century in Patan district of Gujarat. Then this LIGO project, this is very important. What is the purpose of LIGO? Purpose of LIGO is basically to measure gravitational waves, and recently gravitational waves were detected by the LIGO centers in United States of America, and in India this LIGO center is going to come up in Hingoli district of Maharashtra. And the full form of LIGO is very important, Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. Please look into this picture. This is Hingoli district of Maharashtra. LIGO center in India is going to come up in Hingoli district of Maharashtra. Here two things I would like to tell you. The longest reigning monarch in the world, that is a royal monarch, that is Bhumibol Adulyadej. Bhumibol Adulyadej, he died recently at the age of 88, and if someone talks about the world's longest reigning monarch, it is Bhumibol Adulyadej, and longest non-royal ruler of the country, or longest non-royal ruler of the century is Fidel Castro, who died recently. He belongs to Cuba. He died recently in Cuba, and he ruled Cuba for 49 years. And if you look at the longest reigning monarch or royal leader, it is Bhumibol Adulyadej. Look into the next one. Samsung stopped the sale of Samsung Galaxy Note 7 because of burning of the devices. So, Samsung is a South Korea based company. So, Samsung Galaxy Note 7 was stopped. Look into the next one. I am talking about blockchain technology. Blockchain technology basically makes hacking difficult. This blockchain technology makes hacking difficult, and ICICI Bank is the first in the country to launch this blockchain technology in association with Emirates NBD. Then India and Russia signed 16 MOUs or agreement during 17th India-Russia annual summit. Here 2-3 things I would like to tell you. This was held in Goa. Then BRICS summit was held in Goa. Then BRICS BIMSTEC outreach summit was also held in Goa. BRICS summit, BRICS BIMSTEC outreach summit. BIMSTEC, what is the full form of BIMSTEC and what are the countries in BIMSTEC? Please go through them, because this outreach summit was held in October. Then S-400 Triumph long range air defense missile systems. India is going to purchase 5 numbers. These cost around 39,000 crores of rupees, or more than $5 billion. And if someone talks about S-400 Triumph long range air defense missile systems, they are from Russia, please don't forget. And at the same time, Kamo 226T helicopters, they are also of Russian origin, don't forget, and they are going to be assembled in Hindustan Aeronautics Limited in India, right? Certain things don't forget. This is Rafale. Rafale belongs to France. Recently we are talking about Kalashnikov class of weapons. Kalashnikov class of weapons belongs to Israel. So these things don't forget. And Howitzer guns are going to be purchased at $737 million. Recently one agreement was signed. That is between India and United States of America. These things don't forget. And this S-400 Triumph long range air defense missile systems, as well as this Kamo 226T helicopters, this belongs to Russia, and Kamo 226T will be manufactured in HAL in India. And Kigali Climate Pact, this is very, very important. All of you are familiar with the Paris Climate Pact. I would like to tell you few points about Paris Climate Pact. Paris Climate Pact came into force on 4th November. This is very important, please don't forget. And Paris Climate Pact is basically reducing the global temperature rise to 2 degrees centigrade. That means limiting the global temperature rise to 2 degrees centigrade, preferably 1.5 degrees centigrade by the turn of the century. That is about the Paris Climate Pact, or you can say reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. And if someone talks about what is the largest greenhouse gas released into the atmosphere, that is carbon dioxide. Basically, to reduce carbon dioxide, that is Paris Climate Pact. This Kigali is basically amendment to Montreal Protocol. Montreal Protocol reduced the release of chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons destroy ozone layer. So, this Montreal Protocol reduced the incidence of this chlorofluorocarbons, and in the place of chlorofluorocarbons, this hydrofluorocarbons came, and but these hydrofluorocarbons have got thousands of times of warming potential. That is why these hydrofluorocarbons are going to be eliminated. This is Kigali Pact. So, if someone talks about Kigali Pact, this is to eliminate hydrofluorocarbons. If someone talks about Paris Pact, it is to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. These things are very important if you look at the developments of 2016. Then Kudankulam, this nuclear power project was established with the assistance of Russia. This is very important, and Kudankulam is in Tamil Nadu. This is another important aspect. Then 100% electric bus made in India. This 100% electric bus made in India is unveiled by Ashok Leyland. Don't forget, this is unveiled by Ashok Leyland. At the same time, recently LNG bus was unveiled and Tata Motors was associated with LNG bus. These two things don't forget. Ashok Leyland unveiled 100% electric bus made in India, and Tata Motors is associated with LNG bus, and that was released in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. These two things don't forget. Then look at the next one. GE Healthcare will train 10,000 youth in various technical areas of healthcare sector in association with the Tata Trusts. GE Healthcare in association with the Tata Trusts will train 10,000 youth. This is one important aspect. Then high speed Wi-Fi internet is given in several railway stations, and this is given in association with Google and RailTel. RailTel is the arm of Indian Railways. So, Google is associated with high speed Wi-Fi internet in railway stations. Several important stations have got this facility. Airam Sharmila is in the news because she started a political party. She belongs to Manipur, don't forget, and Manipur elections are going to be held in 2017. Then we are talking about green corridors in railways. What is the meaning of this green corridors, green train corridors? Green train corridors are nothing but when the trains running in those sections are fitted with bio toilets. The discharge from toilets will not fall onto the tracks. They will be fitted with bio toilets. And if someone talks about first green train corridor in our country, that is Manamadurai Rameshwaram section of Tamil Nadu. Manamadurai Rameshwaram section of South Tamil Nadu. That is the first green train corridor in our country. So, all the trains running in that section are fitted with bio toilets. Then SR Group decided to sell 98% stake in SR Oil and Vadinar Port. And if someone talks about Vadinar Port, that is in Gujarat, Mundra Port in Gujarat, these things don't forget, and here the value is around $12.9 billion. This value is also very important. So, SR Group decided to sell 98% stake in SR Oil and Vadinar Port at $12.9 billion, and if someone talks about Vadinar, it is in Gujarat, and this is purchased by Rosneft and other firms. Rosneft belongs to Russia, don't forget, and this is the location of Vadinar Port. Please look into this map. And China launched a manned space mission. 2 astronauts were on board the Shenzhou 11 spacecraft, and this is satellite launch center. This was launched from satellite launch center in the Gobi Desert. So, now if someone talks about Gobi Desert, this is situated in both China and Mongolia, please do not forget. Then recently INS Arihant is put into service, this is very very important. INS Arihant, this was put into service because India became a nation with a select club of having the capability of nuclear triad, launching nuclear weapons 3 ways, launching nuclear weapons 3 ways. What are the 3 ways? The first way is from air, the first way is delivering nuclear weapons by aircrafts, that is one method, India is capable of it. The second one is nuclear weapons by ballistic missiles from land, India is capable of it. And third one is developing or delivering nuclear weapons by submarine launched missiles. So, when the country has got these 3 capabilities, then it is named as having the capability of nuclear triad. And here India is the 4th country as per the news reports. USA, Russia and China have got this capability. And look into these slides, this is Sukhoi from the air. Then if you look at ballistic missiles from land and at the same time submarine launched missiles. So, India has got these 3 capabilities, that is why India was declared as nuclear triad, and INS Arihant was launched recently, do not forget that. Kudankulam we have just now discussed, Kudankulam was built with Russia's assistance, and the country which is leading in nuclear power capacity generation is United States of America, do not forget. Then we discussed about this genetically modified mustard crop a short while ago, and the scientist associated with it is Deepak Pental, and at the same time University of Delhi developed this genetically modified mustard. Then Prime Minister recently visited Himachal Pradesh and launched 3 hydro projects. So, if someone talks about 3 hydro projects, one is the Koldam Dam hydro power project, then Rampur power plant, these 2 on Satluj river, then Parbati hydroelectric project, this is on Parbati river. So, these 3 were launched by the Prime Minister recently. Then telecom regulator recently recommended a penalty of about 1050 crore each to Airtel and Vodafone and 950 crore to Idea Cellular. Why the penalty was imposed or why the penalty was recommended? Because these companies deliberately denied interconnection to Reliance Jio, right. Then Indian Coast Guard recently commissioned fast patrol vessels Aryaman and Atulya in Kochi, Kerala. This is Aryaman, please look into this picture. Then INS Virat, please do not forget, INS Virat is decommissioned. It will become a museum near Andhra Pradesh coast at Visakhapatnam, and INS Vikramaditya will be only aircraft carrier after the decommissioning of INS Virat. So, INS Virat was decommissioned recently, and INS Vikramaditya will be the only aircraft carrier left over in our country after the decommissioning of INS Virat, and shortly INS Virat will be becoming a museum near Visakhapatnam. Then this is INS Vikramaditya, this will be only aircraft carrier in our country from now onwards. Then pharmaceutical company which is going to develop dengue vaccine, this please do not forget, Sun Pharmaceuticals, the founder is Dilip Shanghvi, one of the richest persons in our country. So, Sun Pharma is going to come up with dengue vaccine. And this Udan, what is meant by Udan? Udan is Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. This is connecting interior parts of the country with airlines. Unserved, underserved airports will be connected, and per 1 hour airfare is fixed at rupees 2500. So, if someone talks about Udan, that pertains to aviation sector, and it is Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, these things do not forget. Then this is Rampal Thermal Power Station. This Rampal Thermal Power Station is going to be constructed in Bangladesh with India's assistance. In Bangladesh, it is going to come up with Indian participation, but nowadays United Nations recommended for cancelling it. Why? Because it is close to Sundarbans. Sundarbans is spread over India and Bangladesh, please do not forget. And if someone talks about this Rampal thermal power station, this is 1320 megawatt power station to be come up in Bangladesh with the assistance of India, and this is close to Sundarbans. United Nations recommended for cancelling the project. Then Nanaji Deshmukh, recently government decided to commemorate the birth centenary of Nanaji Deshmukh, who is a social activist as well as RSS leader. Then the Prime Minister, this is very important, recently launched Zero Defect, Zero Effect. This was launched at Ludhiana, that is one part. And if someone talks about zero defect, zero effect, that pertains to MSMEs. And what is meant by zero defect? That means the products to be manufactured by MSMEs must be defect free, that is one aspect. Then second important aspect is zero effect. They should have zero effect on the environment. So, zero defect, zero effect pertaining to MSMEs, Prime Minister launched at Ludhiana, and zero defect, zero effect, that should be the goal of the products to be manufactured by MSMEs. Then this Prime Minister inaugurated international terminal at Harni Airport in Vadodara. Certain things do not forget. First green airport in India or probably in the world is Kochi, do not forget. Then recently the Prime Minister inaugurated Harni International Terminal, that is in Vadodara. This is considered to be the second green airport in the country, and recently the Prime Minister laid the foundation stone for Mopa International Airport in Goa. These things do not forget. Then United States telecom giant AT&T will buy the entertainment group Time Warner for $86 billion. Please remember this figure. This AT&T will purchase Time Warner for $86 billion. Then this is Saina Nehwal was appointed as a member of the International Olympic Committee's Athletes Commission. Look at the last one. Indian Navy commissioned INS Tehayu, a Car Nicobar class water jet fast attack craft. It is built by Garden Reach shipbuilders and engineers, and if someone talks about INS Tehayu, it is a water jet fast attack craft, right. So, we discussed certain banking events, certain committees, and at the same time certain current affairs events. And if you want anything to be discussed as far as banking events are concerned, please mail us suggestions at learningspace.in. So, within next 2-3 days we are going to meet once again. So, with this we are concluding this fourth live session, and have a nice day. We will meet once again within 2-3 days. Thank you. Thanks a lot.